at 5. Short, sharp, and sweet today. Let me ask you this very, very powerful question. What do you value? You see, our life responds to our values. Our culture responds to our values. Our families are built on values. Our governments should be built on values. Our businesses should be built on values. Let me ask you, and it's a question that we must ask ourselves of our political leaders right now. What do they value? You see, here in Queensland, our Dr. Death, Jeanette Young, and Anastasia and Stephen Miles, they believe that money is more important than family and then visiting your sick dad and visiting maybe a loved one who's dying. That's their values. Is that what you really want? Is that what we hold dear to in this country? Do we value life above all? Do we value family? You see, the rhetoric is one thing, but the action really tells us where people are at. Someone said to me one day, Pat, you don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, I do. Let me tell you. Behavior manifests your thinking. Just this week, we saw the Black Lives Matters go out there and destroy property, just deface police headquarters under the guise of, Auntie so-and-so died, but, autopsy seems to show that she died of natural causes. But is that how we really want to get things done in this country? Rioting, defacing property. I wonder what would happen if the police send the bill to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait community. There'd be an upheaval. But we must not allow this. We must not give ear to it. Funny how our politicians say very little. I understand that our nation was built on values. Values such as a fair go. Values such as our freedoms. Values something like the right to vote. Values like basic human rights, which Dan Andrews says we're being selfish and stupid to want that. Values like family and freedom of religion. And again, I'm of the Christian faith. Regardless to me what you believe, you have a right to worship. We have a right to work. Values like work. Work. Good Lord said man should work 6 days, 1 day off. Seems like that's changed now. People want 6 days off and 1 day's rest. Values. I want to ask you, as the people that are listening to me today, and maybe you can respond in the chat, please, if you could. Could you just give me a list of things that you truly value? I know family's one. Do you value free enterprise? Do we value entrepreneurship? Do we value the freedom we have as a nation to be a federation, a commonwealth of people? If we don't fight for this basic human value, we are one nation. Sure, we've got our differences of opinion and political views, but we are one nation. Now, I get it state against state when it comes to footy, and, I know between New South Wales and Queensland, there's that healthy rivalry, but not the way the Queensland and Victorian and West Australian governments are doing it. That's not the values we hold dear. Under the cover of COVID, we seem to have lost our north. We seem to have lost our values. While our politicians say we're trying to save lives, yet they lie about the numbers, they fudge the modelling, and they don't tell us the truth. It seems like truth once was a value. Now it's become spin. And the media doesn't help. I know I've copped it from the media and probably will continue to do so. And I receive stuff in my inboxes and everything, some of it very vile. But I still want to speak truth. If someone said to me, Pat, sometimes you get your figures wrong. I'm not here to be perfect. If I get 15% wrong, I'm willing to take a hit. But if I'm 85% right, I'm willing to back myself. What do you value? As I said the other day, I'm not concerned about the masks they're trying to put on me. I'm concerned about the socialism they're trying to put on our children. I'm not here to be pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine, but what I'm here to do is fight for the right for me to choose. I have a choice. And choice is not given when I say, no, I don't. Well, then you're not going to get a tax return, and then you're not going to be able to travel. See, that isn't giving me a right to choose. That is threatening me with incarceration of my life, my freedoms, my soul, and my spirit. You're amputating the very soul of a human being. Our values must be held. You know, the Master Jesus once said, he said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. In other words, where you value, that's where your heart's going to go. When our chief medical officer in this state says, well, we let the elite in because they make us money. When our premier says, well, Queenslanders have Queensland hospitals and New South Wales people have New South Wales hospitals. When did Medicare and the levy we pay stop at a border? No, it's a national program and the nation supports you. You see, the low value of conquer and divide doesn't build a strong nation, doesn't build strong economies. It builds dissension. It builds an us and them and an enemy mentality. And it undervalues the things that we as a country hold dear. I'm going to ask every one of you, and there's hundreds of you that watch on this, could you just share this message, but could you just share with me, what do you value? I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear what you value and what you value in political leaders. If all you value is handouts, we will be depleted. We will be a remnant of what this nation really stands for. So come on, let me know what your values are, and let's see if we can turn this around. This is Pat Mesiti. You have a prosperous life.